Step 1, wake up early, gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some good, some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Yo, set your affirmations, aspirations. I got shit to do, the aftermath of preparation. Good food, good mood, blood in circulation. One step at a time, yeah, that's how you make it. Set a goal you control and the steps you take them. I try to pick one thought, have some concentration. And if I make a mistake, it's called education. I try to do this every day, call it replication. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 So life ain't easy, yo, I think there's a reason though. Ups and downs, just like every different season, yo. Sometimes I'm high, other times I'm barely breathing, though. I always gotta fight and hide from the demons, yo. Negative thoughts are poison, they rot. Head full of flies, so here come the clouds. They'll never stop unless I can swap all the bad for the good in my head when I'm lost. Yeah, so I'ma fake it till I make it. Positive thoughts are overtaken, I got patience. One day at a time is how you operate a cadence. A flow, you grow, you show yourself a foundation. Stay away from all the shit that causes temptation. I know that I like to do it cause it's sensation. I live my life in my head like a narration. Don't expect greatness, do my best, man, I'll take it. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Wake up, today's gonna be a good day.
Wake up early, gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some good, some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
As you wake up in the morning, you want to find the latest, greatest information about criminal cases and have an intuitive conversation about the suspects associated with these cases. Head over to the Bullhorn Betty channel on YouTube. Get breaking news right here on the Bullhorn Betty channel. Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty Coffee Club. Enjoy your stay and enjoy your day.
I have a question for you. If you woke up this Friday morning and you looked in your bank account and there was $10,080 magically there, and you're like, wow, that's amazing. But the only stipulation is you have to spend it all in 1 week and it'll be gone. And then the following week, you'll get another $10,080 deposited, and so on and so on. You can spend it however you want. Or if you don't spend it, it disappears. Would you spend every cent every week? Or would you allow it to be wasted and taken away from you? Well, guys, this Friday, you're going to wake up and there's going to be 10,080 minutes that God has given you for the next week. And you can spend them however you want, or you can simply waste them. Guys, I highly suggest that you spend every minute of next week doing amazing things, and don't allow 1 minute to be squandered, because you never know when God won't deposit another 10,080 minutes in your life, guys. Go out and live a great life.
Her family has been struggling so much to find answers, and they have been met with lies after lies after lies from a lot of people that proclaim to be this young lady's friends. So
This is Lila Santanello. She has been missing since June 27th, 2023, and she disappeared from Kingsport, Tennessee. Chronicles of Olivia and I went out to Kingsport, Tennessee on several different trips, searching for Lila Santanello or any information leading to her whereabouts. These are my thoughts on this case.
well, I have to be honest with you. I was hoping by now we would have found Layla. So this has been very hard. You know, we want to bring her home. We want to make sure that her family knows what happened to her, I think is really the most important. Her family has been struggling so much to find answers, and they have been met with lies after lies after lies from a lot of people that proclaim to be this young lady's friends. Just like to speak to them just for a moment and just say, if you know something, say something, because her life does matter. For the family members of these people that know what happened to her, it could have been your daughter. It could have been your granddaughter. You need to ask them to stand up and speak up.
Hi, Bullhorn Betty. Thank you for my shirt. Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty Kids Club.
Well, good morning, my beautiful people of YouTube. It's nice to see you this morning. All hell is breaking loose in Manhattan, New York. As many of you guys know, this was breaking news yesterday. There's a few semblances of updates, this morning. But at the end of the day, we have a massive nationwide manhunt underway right now to find out who this hitman was related to Brian Thompson. He was the CEO of UnitedHealthcare insurance company, and he was going to a financial or investors conference. We're going to get the details of this coming up, and where he was ambushed, and the hitman was lying in wait. This looked very, very, very professional. It looked like this was not just your run-of-the-mill angry patient that was denied services. This was at a financial conference. There are many things that are running through my head when it comes to a case just like this. Now, we don't see things like this very often. We do have escapees. We do have, mass casualty type of events, but this was this is very much a targeted, it looks like a hitman, okay? It looks like a paid hitman. I mean, he knew what he was doing. Probably somebody that may have been military trained, potentially. We don't know. That's just speculation on my part. We're going to go through this, and we're going to hear from our audience and what you guys think this is. Now, I do have currently a poll going right now in chat related to some questions, and this is what it says. Do you think this Brian's? I made a typo. That Brian's demise was related to
family, some type of family altercation, having an affair on his wife wants to leave, maybe children, look at the Menendez brothers. We have our feelings about the Menendez brothers, but at the end of the day, they could have unalived for money. That's what they were trying to say at one point in time. So family, investor, is somebody trying to take over the company? Is this a disgruntled person that maybe have lost money in the stocks or something like that? Investor, shareholder, a prior patient. Now, we've heard in the past that, there are family members or somebody that their family had, cancer or a liver disease or something like that, and were denied services, and the patient ultimately died or is in the process of dying. And, maybe this is a revenge type of thing. Or is this another competitor taking out their competition? So please take the poll. Let me know what your thoughts are related to the poll. This is super important because we're going to be talking about these possibilities, these theories, right? There are multiple theories to be had related to this particular case. Good morning, Melanie. It's nice to see you. First, to say good morning to Bullhorn Betty. Eeyore Blues is up in the house. Bullhorn Betty is here fashionably late this morning. I don't always drink coffee, but when I'm due, I'm watching PHP. Well, cheers to you. And I got our crime-fighting Delilah cup. If you guys don't have yours, please consider, hey, it's Christmas time, right? It's Christmas time. Look at that beautiful little face. Aw, little baby Delilah. How can you not be drinking your coffee? It tastes so much better with Delilah. Get your cup from Sonia. So good morning, Denise. It's nice to see you. YouTuber Alexandra, it's nice to see you. Do they know who did it yet? I looked this morning. They don't have anybody. I'm like freaking out. In this day of technology and everything, I feel like they could, but this guy seems so planned. He knew when to be there. He knew what time this man would be coming in. He knew that this man was going to be there at that time. Okay? I just feel like this was early in the morning, y'all. So I got my feelings about this. Cinderella, it's nice to see you. True Crime Addict, it's nice to see you. Gemini, it's nice to see you this morning. YouTuber, Jets Mama. Hey. Peggy, good morning, my love. Our beautiful Sonia's in the house. She is the creator and the designer of this beautiful baby. And look at that. Wake up, it's going to be a good day. Look at little Delilah. She's not that cute anymore. I'm just joking. She's my baby. And of course, she's just right here, right next to me. You want to say hi to Delilah? Delilah, you want to say hi to everybody? Come on. Say hi to everybody. Come on. Say hi, guys. My mommy's parading me around. I'm just trying to sleep this morning because I'm so lazy. Hi, everybody. Hi, it's nice to see you. I don't like the lights in my eye. I was covering my eyes up with my mommy's arm here just a little bit ago. My little baby. I call her my precious baby angel. I'm like, oh, look at my little precious baby angel. I won't tell you guys any more of my nicknames for her. Squirt is another one. Monkey is another one. She becomes a monkey every now and again when she's hyper as heck. I'll get out. Anyways, it's nice to see you. Nice to see you, Melanie. Mindy, good morning. Amanda, it's nice to see you. Who else do we have? I think I said hi. Donna, it's nice to see you. Good morning. Dawn, good morning. Louise is up in the house. Blessings to all, she says. Blessings to all. Dreaming of blue skies and sandy beaches. Good morning, Mona. Louise, it's nice to see you. Little Fig, aw, YouTuber, says, I got to see the video. You do have to see the video. It's a video I used to play regularly on this show and haven't. We also used to read
no, is it? Language of Letting Go. And I haven't read that in a while. Actually, it might be a good day to start reading The Language of Letting Go. Let me get up and go get that. Hold on a second. Let me get through this. Big Mac Mike in the house. Whoa, 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 whoa. Pointer Lover, it's nice to see you. Mindy, good morning. Good morning. Who else? Phil is up in the house. Love it, love it. I love it. Hired hitman. Oh, this looks like a hired hitman. I don't know, DC. That person seemed pretty well. This is a you guys know me. When I get a mystery, that's what sucks me in. It's like, who the heck is this? We need to know who this is, right? This is a big story because there's so many things it could be. Hold on, guys. I gotta blow my nose. I'm sorry. It happens. Okay, sorry. I didn't want to do that online, and I love this because on this versus my phone, I can actually block my camera. I can't do that on my phone, so it's nice. Kind of when you got to do what you got to do, you got to do it live, right? It's a live show, Lady 7 Up, it's good to see you. Probably tied to Obamacare somehow. Oh, interesting. It is coming up to, I just got my insurance, right? Good gracious. There's not, unless you're planning on selling a kid, you can't afford even, you can't afford a PPO this day and age. Who the hell can afford a PPO? I remember PPOs were given out like candy. Now you got to be on HMOs. Nobody likes managed healthcare. Okay? I don't give a rat's ass what they say. HMOs suck. Okay? They're not good for this country. People should have freedom. So I don't like people telling me what to do. I don't like people telling me where I got to go. If I need to go to a doctor, I want to be able to type on here, a doctor, if they're top in their specialty, I want to go to them. If they're only going to give $50 to this doctor, then just pay the doctor the $50 and let me handle the rest. Don't deny the claim. Oh, he's not in our membership. It doesn't matter. If you were going to pay Dr. A $50, give Dr. B the $50. Pretty simple. But that's not how it works, unfortunately. Sheila, it's nice to see you. Good morning, Mindy. Fueled by coffee and crime. Love it. Blue Eyes, it's nice to see you. Squeaky wheel. Word is coming out. UnitedHealthcare has been denying benefits to thousands of elderly and senior citizens. Figure motivation is pretty easy. Thousands of possible suspects. That's what's kind of drawing us into this, right? We have this. Come on. We're about to watch the video. I had to blur some stuff out to make it, YouTube eligible. But I made sure I stuck it into YouTube and went through the whole process of getting it approved. So I didn't have any problems on my live this morning, and I got it approved. So I think I'm going to be good because I blurred stuff out and everything. It met the minimal requirements necessary. I didn't want to take any chances this morning, so I uploaded it directly to YouTube first. Lady 7 Up, it's nice to see you. Faye, Rochelle, good morning. Louise, too funny. Thank you, Betty. Sorry if I made you spit out your coffee. It's a habit here. Have some tissue. They knew exactly where he'd be. See, that's the kicker right there. That's what makes me feel like, the patients. Yes, we have some patients, but how many run-of-the-mill patients like us would know where the CEO of these places are or where he's going? That's the kicker. That's the brain, thingy that's going on here. My husband had UnitedHealthcare and was denied by clinical trials stating not medically necessary while he was battling cancer. And that's sad because that's one of the things that I know you guys, I'm not trying to get political here. I really am not. But that's one of the good things that I feel like Trump brought to the table, because if you recall, he kind of, made way to people that are having life-threatening illnesses, being able to go out and try elective type of medication, experimental medication. I mean, at the end of the day, why not? I mean, if the patient is already on, is knows that their end result's going to be, if they want to try something, if it happens to do something to them to complicate the rest, it's worth the shot in many of these patients' minds. Why not? But I have to agree, there's something here. There's something here. The Real Me Too. Good morning, my love. Good morning. Mary, it's nice to see you. Unicorn, Indiana, big hugs and love. Want to be sleuthing something. I wonder if someone wanted his job. That's I was even talking about competitors on there. I mean, it could be a person gunning for his job, literally, or it could be another business, or, who knows? I'd like to see their financials. I haven't looked into the financials of it. If you guys have it, send it to bullhornbetty@gmail.com, bullhornbetty@gmail.com. I'm very interested in this case. Tracy, good morning. Joy, it's nice to see you. Nani, good morning. Lady 7 Up, thank you guys. Thank you. We only have, 8 more. And I'm playing the ass video. And if you guys haven't seen the ass video, it's from earlier days of Bullhorn Betty. Oh, look who it is. I am Team Summer. It is nice to see you, Love Bug. I hope you had a wonderful Thanksgiving. Shining Star, it's nice to see you. Soul Shine for Jesus. I love that. Soul Shine for Jesus Christ. Finally caught alive. It's nice to see you. Nothing of value was lost. Nothing of value was lost. Well, CEO was lost. Good morning, Zach. But I get what you're saying. So there was no robbery. And we saw it. Maybe you guys have it. Well, no, I think he's being wannabe sleuth. I think he's being accurate. Nothing of value was lost. I don't know what that's referring to, Zach. I don't know if you're being punned toward the CEO, because that's not, life should always be more valuable than any tangible item, right? Money, housing, all that. We should be putting human life above monetary value. And, it's very difficult. Some of these insurance companies, I used to sell insurance. A lot of people don't know. I was in sales. I did a lot of insurance sales of all types of things, from annuities to life insurance to healthcare to Medicare to all of this stuff. And we had a lot of stuff. I went from Bankers Life. We had UnitedHealthcare. We had Colonial Penn. I mean, we had a lot of different products and stuff like that. And while I wasn't in the approval or disapproval of claims, I did have to deal with that as a insurance agent. And it is kind of hard, it's hard to read through, but when you're an insurance agent, you read all the documents of the pages. I know clients, typically you have them sign here, and pray to God that they're reading the stuff that they're signing. But many people don't read their contracts, don't read their exclusions or benefits. The summary of benefits is just that. I never purchase any insurance without reviewing a complete summary of benefits. And that summary of benefits is your guidelines to what is covered and what is not covered. And say elective medication or, high tier medication may be out of your budget and you need high tier medication. You need to find a different policy that helps cover some of that high tier medication. So I do have an understanding of insurance. I do have an understanding of UnitedHealthcare insurance, because I was approved to sell UnitedHealthcare insurance many years ago. And I never expected to be covering one of the CEOs. It's a value statement using the alienating language corporate speaks to say something technically true. I sincerely mean Brian's life had no value. I don't agree with that. Actually, Brian's life being a CEO had a lot of value. on an insurance level, life insurance level. He would have his life is more valuable than Bullhorn Betty's in the eyes of insurance, especially life insurance, due to his net worth. So I don't know if that was meant to be like a stab or something toward him or something like that. But in all fairness, that's, if you're looking at it truthfully, that's an inaccurate statement, honestly. But either way, I thought the best way to dive into this case is learning a little bit about Brian Thompson. Who is he? Okay, he was born in 1974. He was obviously unalived right before Christmas. Now, mind you, this man is only 50 years old, okay? I'm pretty confident he may have children. I don't know if he does or not, but I would assume a man that's 50 that is married to his college sweetheart would most likely have children. There's no I don't see him not having children, but again, I don't know his life. So I think it would behoove us to learn. His name's Brian Robert Thompson. He was an American businessman. He was a chief executive officer of UnitedHealthcare. Prior to that, his education, he's been with the United Health Group since April of 2021. And of course, he was gunned down and unalived just on the 4th today, just yesterday, early in the morning yesterday. Thompson was born July 10th, and he attended South Hamilton High School in Jewel Junction, Iowa. So he's Iowa, he's kind of, in my opinion, he comes from a lot of blue collar workers. Now, I could be wrong about that. That's just my assumption based on where he's from. He graduated in 1993 as class valedictorian. Thompson graduated from the University of Iowa in 1997, where he studied business administration and accounting. And then from, of course, 1997 to 2004, he worked at Price Waterhouse Coopers, LLP, as a manager transaction in the transaction advisory service group of the auditing practice. He actually joined the UnitedHealthcare Group in 2004 as the CEO CEO of the government's program, which included Medicare, retirement, and community and state divisions. So I think this is where some people in the chat, now I can't read chat right now because I'm reading a different page, but I'll be back over there and see if you guys have anything to say related to this. Now, somebody did bring up in our live already that they were notorious about denying claims for the elderly. So, he was the CEO for the government program, which included Medicare and retirement. So there could be something with that. The Associated Press described Thompson as keeping a low public profile. However, he had a few moments in the public spotlight, such as during an investors meeting in 2023, when he announced that UnitedHealthcare was shifting to a value-based model by paying doctors and other caregivers to keep patients healthy rather than focusing on treatment. This is kind of the shift to the HMO, dynamic, which I hate. That's what they try. I hate word salad. It's like, oh, we're going to make sure that your doctor is going to keep you healthy. So we're going to gatekeep all of your medical care to one singular doctor to make the decisions for your health. I don't like it. So I think that's where they're coming in. And that was in 2023. Now, that's very close in conjunction with 2024, right? So in 2021, Thompson was criticized in an open letter from the American Hospital Association regarding plans for UnitedHealthcare to start denying payments for what it deemed non-critical visits to the hospital emergency room. And they were going to be, they responded by delaying the rollout of that change. A lawsuit was filed. Listen to this. This might be a key information as well. Lawsuit was filed against Thompson in May 2024 for alleged fraud and insider trading due to failing to disclose an antitrust investigation into the company by the United States Department of Justice. The case had only been made public following his death, so nobody knew that there was this lawsuit filed against Thompson for this alleged fraud and insider trading. This is a key ingredient that could potentially kind of, guide us to why we're here today. This was only filed in May. This was 7 months ago, 6 to 7 months ago, and now he's dead. And this is for fraud. Thompson's father was Dennis Thompson. He was a grain elevator worker, and his mother was Pat Hunter Thompson. He had one brother, Mark, was known to friends and colleagues as BT. Brian was married to Paulette Thompson, a physical therapist and fellow University of Iowa graduate. She was born in Webster City, Iowa, and together they had 2 sons. So he was a dad. They resided in Maple Grove, Minnesota. So he's from Minnesota, and he was in, Manhattan, New York for this investor conference. And then that brings us kind of where we are this morning. I don't mean there isn't data on his person that isn't value. I mean, the consciousness, his experience wasn't of any value. I disagree. And you're hitting so home about how he is unvalued as a human being, Zach. I just find it inappropriate. The man's dead. Okay. And he was gunned down. So why don't you just, chill on that? Okay. It's got to be very think about it. If you woke up tomorrow and your dad's dead, would you like somebody on social media talking about how your dad has no value or your mom has no value? You see what I'm saying? I get where you're going, but you're harping on it so much that it's starting to feel gaslighting at this point. And so I'd really appreciate, just being respectful of the chat and respectful of this man's life. Every life has value. Every person has meaning. And whether you like rich people or not, that's your problem, okay? It doesn't mean that they're not valuable. I can tell you right now, one of the first annuities that I signed up was for a gentleman by the name of Herb. And very nice guy, very down to earth, and had more money than God. He was just a very humble man. He started the Save-A-Lot stores. And he actually started explaining to me how he started out. He was just a, country boy. And, well, I shouldn't say country boy. He was kind of a North boy. But, he started out with barges. He purchased his first barge. And that barge he was renting out. And then he purchased more barges and started renting those barges out to other companies and stuff like that. And that's how he started building a little bit of, the side hustle. And that side hustle ended up, blossoming into a huge corporation that allowed him to purchase or start these Save-A-Lot stores. And then he ended up selling the Save-A-Lot brand. And I can tell you that him and his wife were rich as what, and were some of the nicest people I think I've ever met. So I think when we start painting people with broad brushes, I think we narrow our minds. We're more stereotypical and view people in a stereotypical way than reality. And I think that in 2025, as we're crossing over to, I think that the country's in a little bit different situation where we've learned not to paint with such a broad brush, right? I think we've learned over the time that there are always bad apples in every sector, right? There's bad police officers, there's bad judges, there's bad cashiers, there's bad baggers, there's bad auto dealers, auto salespeople, there's bad insurance people. Does it mean that all of those people, all of those sectors are bad? No, it means those singular people aren't quite up to where everybody else should be. Now, I understand. I come from a business background, right? I come from a sales background. So I kind of understand these things better than most people. So when it comes to insurance, you've got to have some criteria. Otherwise, the insurance companies that are supposed to take care of our insurance would be broke. Now, that's a game in of itself because they talk about their overhead, right? As part of their overall, when they have to go, believe it or not, every single state has an insurance commission or an insurance department at the state level. And insurance companies actually have to approach our state and say, hey, I need to increase our rates. And this goes for all 50 states. They can't just go to Washington, D.C. and say, we need to raise rates and raise it across the board. No, each individual state insurance commission has to approve their price increase, right? But when they approve their price increase, it has to be based on need. But how is there is no way to acquire wealth without stepping on people's wealth is a sign of immortality and willingness. Well, okay. Well, Zach, I agree in part. You know, there's you're in life, there's hardly any place that you can, oh, hey Trina, it's nice to see you. There's hardly any place you can go to make money or to thrive without somebody being below you, right? So it does cause problems. I get that part. So after leaving the conference, he was gunned down. I don't think it was after leaving the conference. Conferences usually start and usually last most of the day. I know he was coming back to the hotel, so it must have been that he must have got up. Maybe I'm assuming. This is all assumption. I mean, this stuff happened early morning. It doesn't sound like an investor conference that early in the morning. Usually investor conferences start around 9. To me, you know I wake up early. And so if I was at an investor conference, one of the things I would probably do would be go around the corner to get a cup of coffee or some breakfast or something before it started, or maybe even meet a colleague to discuss the plans of the day before we got started at the conference. I don't know. It appeared that he was either leaving the hotel or coming back to the hotel because he was walking down the street. So he could have been leaving another hotel up the road. And that's just where the gunman knew, because he knew that he may have been staying at this hotel and knew he had to walk this way to get to where he needed to go and, you know, put himself in that store or that shop waiting for him to walk by that morning. How would he know what time he would be leaving that hotel room? This is, to me, is somebody very close. Okay. Now I could be totally off base here, but I don't understand how this gunman knew where he was, what his behaviors were, and knew where he would be at that time of morning. I mean, this is a lot of personal information. You got to look at it that way. So what are we learning here? So according to Fox News, it says former New York Police Department investigator skeptical of UnitedHealthcare gunman was a professional zeroed in on weapon of choice. So let's listen to this. We're going to have a what's the word to use? An advertisement, and then it'll get into this. So let's just go through the advertisement process here, and then we'll get to the video.
So, you know, look, the speculation is that, oh, it's a hitman, it's a professional killer, and all this other stuff.
That's what I believe.
I would just hesitate on that and tell people to just be mindful of the fact that professional hitmen primarily exist in the movies. They don't really exist. That doesn't mean it wasn't a murder for hire. Those things do happen.
I get what he says. You know, maybe that this is not a. I don't know. You know, I don't know the difference between a hitman and a murder for hire. Okay, apparently there must be two definitions here, because I'm telling you, somebody that's a murder for hire, that sounds like a hitman to me. Okay, just saying. Okay.
The idea that this is a quote unquote professional shooter I am skeptical of.
I
There's
do
a couple
believe.
reasons for that. First of all,
Actually,
he
you know
fires-
what? There are something. Let me just say this. Let me put this caveat here. There is something here that says that he wasn't the most professional of it, and you'll see why. I've got the video of this whole unaliving, but you'll see his pew pew jamming up. You'll see he's having problems. That tells me he had most likely a man-made silencer on it. It looks like there was a silencer on it. If you don't make the silencer just correctly, it will jam your gun. Okay, it does something when you modify your firearm. It can jam the, and you actually see him struggling with the firearm in his hands when he's doing this thing. So this is, and we're going to be watching it. It's blurred out. You're not going to really, the video of itself is, you can barely make it out, but anything that you could make out, I blurred out, if that makes sense. So that's what I did with the video. We're going to be watching it soon, and I'm going to kind of break it down and show you what I'm talking about with him fighting with that. That tells me it sounds like these modifications were made privately by him, and it caused the gun to, I don't know, not work properly. It worked good enough to get the job done, but it didn't work to the point that subsonic ammo causes guns to jam. It's typical for shitty ammo. That's good to know, Blackhawk. That's good to know. So that's kind of where we are with this. Let's listen to this guy. I'm going to go back just a little bit because I want to hear what he says in
whatever
full.
it is, 5-6 yards. Told people to just be mindful of the fact that professional hitmen primarily exist in the movies. They don't really exist. That doesn't mean it wasn't a murder for hire. Those things do happen. The idea that this is a quote unquote professional shooter, I am skeptical of. And there's a couple reasons for that. First of all, he fires from whatever it is, 5-6 yards away. He could have gotten a lot closer. And we know that at least some of his shots missed. And in fact, one of the shots that does hits the victim in the leg. Not very professional. He also has some trouble with the gun. Now,
I did notice that.
It looks like he's got either a very long barrel or a silencer. Silencers are de facto illegal, and they're very, very hard to come by. So a lot of them are homemade.
Yep.
That said, could just be a long barrel gun. There are guns like that, and they're designed to suppress the sound, these long barrel guns. There are also add-on features.
I got to tell you, I don't think that this is this looks like it. When I looked at that, as much as I could blow it up without distorting the whole entire image, it looks like it was a silencer, a homemade silencer put on that. That's why I went through my dissertation that I did.
That you can add to keep the slide of a semi-automatic gun from racking. And what does that?
And he was having slide issues, just to let you know.
I mean, that means that after you shoot, you then have to rack the slide of the gun in order to shoot again. He does that.
Yep.
In the video, which argues that he may have modified the gun because these are sort of after.
I tried telling you guys. See, this is the first time I saw this video. I read the article, but I saw that there was a video when we went there, and I'm telling you, these are things any person with just basic knowledge of firearms would be able to see these things going on in that video. We're going to be watching that video here in short order. Just stay tuned.
Market things that you can add to the gun. So what I would say is it's somebody with a familiarity with guns, and particularly this gun. Looks to be a rare type of gun, and that's a data point that.
That's good to know. See, I did not know that this looked like a rare type of gun. I didn't pay that close of attention to I couldn't tell, to be honest with you. But this is interesting that they can.
The police can chase down. But in terms of it being a professional hitman that's hired from some organized crime outfit or something like that, I'm skeptical. Doesn't mean it can't happen, but I'm skeptical. Well, I would say that there's no indication that he had any help. That doesn't mean that he didn't. And like I said, it doesn't mean.
I don't know how they could assess that this man didn't have any help because he knew where to be. Okay, I'm sorry. I don't know who my insurance is. That might be through healthcare. I think it's through. I don't know. I just signed up for it, so I don't know who my insurance is through. But either way, I don't know who the CEO of the company is. I don't know where his investor meeting is. I don't know even where to begin. I do research all over. I mean, it would literally take me hours upon hours upon hours to even figure this stuff out. And these people knew where he was going to be and where he was going to be walking. How do you know that at that time of morning? I don't know.
That it wasn't a murder for hire. One of the things we should remember is another data point, which is that the likelihood of stranger on stranger shootings, killings in anywhere in America, but including New York City, they're very, very rare. Even in a place the size of New York City, where you have hundreds of homicides every year, the instances of stranger on.
And I agree that the instances on stranger, but this type of situation would only be happening, in my opinion, is if it is a third party unrelated to the person. I mean, that's why they're having a hard time finding who this person is, in my opinion.
And stranger are exceedingly small, like single digits. So the odds cut very much against the idea that this was random. It probably was targeted. And so as a result of that.
Oh, I see what he's saying. Targeted. Okay. Yes. I do believe it was targeted, but now we got to figure out why. Was he having an affair on his wife? Was his kids disgruntled that he's not giving them their allowance because he needs to make his son be men? I mean, we don't know. Right. I would assume at 50 years old, he's got children in the 20s, 20 years old or above. Could they have had a posh lifestyle and aren't making it like, what was his name? That one kid that went to school with the yellow, had a real weird name. Porky or pork something. Porco or something. He unalived his mom and dad because of money. He was lying to him about, his schooling and stuff like that. Took an axe to his dad. His dad was walking out had this piece still sticking or gash or something in his head. And he was his body was still doing normal behavior, walked out and got his newspaper, came back in and dropped dead. So, and it was his son. And his son went after his mother as well, or, the kid's mom as well. I think his name's something Porco.
You're going to look very hard at the victim's life. And you are going to look at people who are now taking victory laps, because maybe the person who did it is proud of having done it because an insurance claim was denied or, something like that, to go to the sort of obvious motive.
Yep. I agree with that. So let's, so now you guys kind of get an idea of some of the possibilities of what's going on. If you guys notice, I got the storm behind me because I feel a storm is brewing here. I feel that, and as you can see in the request or in the poll, it has family, it has, competitors, it has people that would have basically known him. Isn't UnitedHealthcare for no? No, they're not free at all. They're not free at all. They're not as expensive as Blue Cross and Blue Shield, but they're up there. And I keep looking at Blue Cross and Blue Shield, and I don't understand why their prices are so high. I mean, they have some of the highest deductibles and cost sharing, and they're the most expensive on the market. His wife had said in the past he has had threats on his life before. Do we know Citizen Sleuth, what they were for? Were they for policy denials? Were they for claim denials, rather? Were they because somebody may have lost their life? I mean, this looked like a younger guy, but not too young. I mean, I looked at his eyes. He didn't look like a 20-something, but he didn't look like a 70-year-old. So it's a welfare insurance. It is a welfare insurance, maybe a different one. Not UnitedHealthcare. Not UnitedHealthcare. Yeah, they're a $400 billion company. So I've never. Gotcha. Their costs, I know Blue Cross and Blue Shields has some of the highest insurance costs. I can't afford Blue Cross and Blue Shield. And it sucks because I want to. And I actually am paying more for my insurance this year than I have ever. And that's just because I like my doctor. And there's only 3 plans that allow me to have my doctor. So I just, when you have a doctor you like, yeah, it is expensive. But it's definitely, if anybody has the opinion that UnitedHealthcare is a welfare type of insurance, no. They may have some government type of plans, such as they may be a manager of some form of Medicaid or Medicare, or, we do know UnitedHealthcare does have Medicare supplements and they denied cancer meds. I just okay, so we got some people with personal experience with this. So it is possible that this is claims related. I don't know. And here's why. Because most of these cases where we hear about this, in all fairness, and I'm not calling, these people are from Iowa. They seem very family based. I never want to call any family out. Just, we always, because we deal with, children missing and people being deceased. Okay. And more times than not, it is somebody that they personally knew. And with his high net worth, if him and his wife are having problems, we've seen this over and over again, right? Look at the Black Swan. Look at all these other cases that we have of Jodi Arias. They weren't even married, right? So maybe they were having some things going on. Maybe this very private CEO was living a double life. Maybe it was the wife. Maybe it was an investor that everybody just loves and admires this man, and an investor thinks that he is taking the company to different, I don't know. What I do know is that this is definitely an inside job. That's what I'm feeling. This is my opinion, my speculation. Please do your own research, come up with your own opinions and speculation. But I think this is going to be a shocker, 1, who it is, and 2, why they did what they did. Why the F would an investor would bite the hand that feeds it? Because we don't know. I mean, just because they say they're $400 billion company doesn't mean that their investments are on target, right? It doesn't mean that people are making the money that they are using to support this company. The UnitedHealthcare is is on the stock market. They have investors. They have a board of directors. There may be somebody that's been trying to move this man out of his job for so long. Maybe the investors meeting wasn't going to go very well. Maybe they've paid out more than they should have. Maybe somebody's mad that they didn't get, their $100,000 bonus, right? I don't know. It seemed like this guy was a dollar bill guy. He was down to the bottom line kind of guy. Nobody likes those kinds of guys, right? I mean, you like those kinds of guys whenever you're an investor because you're all about the money and how much money your money can make, right? For investing. Nobody goes in there and hands somebody, $15 million to make peanuts on $15 million, right? And this is an investment. There people typically invest in these companies to excel and make money and thrive. And they can't do that with their own budget and their own money. They have to use other people's money to do that. One of the smartest business investments you can ever make is with somebody else's money. Can you agree with that? Right? It's always with somebody else's money. And when you have to use your money or it's your money being used, you want to be paid for that, right? You want to be paid for that. Believe it or not, it is the investors that keep these businesses growing. And it shows that they believe in the product. So here's what the AP has out on him. Brian Thompson led one of the biggest healthcare insurance in the U.S. That is huge. So he is the head guy of the largest health insurer in the U.S., but was unknown to millions of people his decisions affected. Then Wednesday's targeted fatal shooting of UnitedHealthcare CEO in Midtown Manhattan sidewalk thrust the executive and his business into the national spotlight. Thompson, and it's sad because he was only 50 years old. He had a whole entire life ahead of him. And I'm sorry, I would never put money over a human life. It's just not in my DNA. But he was only 50 years old. I mean, it's not like, I mean, he looks young. He looks young. And to think that this man was gunned down and never hurt, I mean, I shouldn't say never hurt anybody because some of their decisions hurt, right? People don't have money to get them much needed care that they need. And that's why they have insurance. And when their insurance failed them, it's scary, right? You're facing with a life or death situation for yourself and you're being told you have to die, right? Some of these healthcare, it's just like that. And we have to acknowledge that. So he worked at the giant UnitedHealthcare group for 20 years and run the insurance arm since 2021 after running its Medicare and retirement business. As CEO, Thompson led the firm that provides healthcare to more than 49 million Americans, more than the population of Spain. United is the largest provider of Medicare Advantage plans. I hate those things. The privately run version of the U.S. government's Medicare program for ages 65 and older. The company also sells individual insurance, administers health insurance coverage for thousands of employers, and state and federally funded Medicaid programs. So they do help with the Medicaid programs as well. The business run by Thompson brought in $281 billion in revenue last year, making it the largest subsidiary of Minnetonka, Minnesota-based Healthcare United Group. His $10.2 million paycheck package includes salary, bonus, stocks option awards, made him one of the company's highest paid executives. So now you have all the other people under him that think that they can do a better job, that could be jealous of this beautiful salary package that he gets. $10.2 million. That's think about that. That's just shy of almost $1 million a month. Just shy of almost $1 million a month the man is making. That's huge. He's got a lot of net worth. The University of Iowa graduate began his career as a certified public accountant at PwC and had little name recognition beyond healthcare industry. Even to investors who own stock, the parent company belonged to CEO Andrew Whitty, a knighted British triathlete who testified before Congress. When Thompson did occasionally draw attention, it was because of his role in shaping the way Americans get their health. At an investor meeting last year, he outlined his company's shift to value-based care, HMOs. Okay, that's what it means. Value-based care is HMOs, paying doctors and caregivers to keep patients healthy rather than focusing on treating them once sick. It's HMOs, okay? Healthcare should be easier for people, Thompson said. We are cognizant of the challenges, but navigating a future through value-based care unlocks a situation where the family doesn't have to make decisions on their own. Well, sounds like a lot of people were denied. Thompson drew attention in 2021 when the insurer, like its competitors, was widely criticized for a plan that started denying payments for what it deemed non-critical visits to emergency rooms. Patients are not medical experts and should not be expected to self-diagnose during what they believe is a medical emergency. said Chief Executive, American Hospital Associations, where in an open letter addressed to Thompson, threatening patients with financial penalty for making the wrong decision would be a chilling effect on seeking emergency care. UnitedHealthcare responded by delaying rollouts to that change. Thompson, who lived in Minneapolis suburbs, was married, father of 2 sons that are in, that breaks my heart. They are in high school. They're not even 20 yet. That means he waited later in life to have children. Was set to speak at an investors meeting in Midtown, New York, in a Midtown, New York hotel. Maybe that's where he was going, because the investors meeting was in the Midtown, New York hotel. Somebody had to have known that he was going to that particular hotel. Now we got a clearer picture of why he was walking that way and where that gunman would have been. It's because they knew where he was going to be and what time he needed to be there, so they just waited him out. He was on his own. That means the guy, whoever did this, would have had to known what he looks like. Okay? They would have had to known what he looks like, which kind of solidifies that he may have known the person. He was on his own and about to enter the building when he was shot in the back by a masked assailant who fled on foot before pedaling an e-bike into Central Park a few blocks away. So it sounds like they may have some DNA on this guy. Chief Detective Stephen Kenny said investigators are looking at Thompson's social media accounts and interviewing employees and family members. Didn't seem like he had any issues at all, Kenny said. He did not have a security detail. I don't think a CEO should have to have a security detail, just my opinion. So that's kind of all the information that we are learning about this. And before we wrap up, and we still had, good morning, Fireswood. Good morning, guys. It's nice to see you, Honey Dip. I hadn't seen you, and then I saw you on the way out yesterday, and I forgot to say hi. I'm thinking, mistress, husband. Yeah, I feel like this is a little more personal. I have to be honest with you, Honey Dip. I do. I feel like this is ultra personal. But, it could be about the claims. It could be about the finances. It could be about a lot of things. But for whatever reason, just for me personally, you know me, right? I want to clear the family first, because I'm sorry. In the line of work I'm in, I've seen families do some terrible things, especially families of high net worth, okay? Because money's involved. And they value money above human life. Us lower people, right? Us middle class people down here, way down here, woo, right? We value human life over money, okay? Because if we valued money over human life, we might be way up here, right? But we're not. We're way down here. So it's insurance premiums are part of the problem with the economy here in America. We pay billions a year for health care and still receive bills in the mail. That's why doctors are the last on my list to pay. I think that's true for everybody, Black Hawk, honestly. I really do. I think that's about right. So the guy waited for hours. Passion was involved, in my opinion. And the guy seemed, he didn't seem young. He definitely wasn't high school area, This is something a little more. And it may not even be his wife or on that side. It does feel like there's something more here but he was, there's two, like I'm 50-50 on this. Here's where I'm at, because he was at an investors meeting. Okay. And in Manhattan to have this investor, so that just really makes me feel like, who would know that he was there and he was heading there? It seems like everybody that was in attendance to that investors meeting, and his family, right? And his work. So those are kind of my 3 wheelhouses right now, right? In all fairness, those are my 3 wheelhouses. That's where kind of my theories, my speculations, my opinions start, right? You look at, you got to strip it down. Just make it as simple as possible. Who would know he was there? right? Who would we know? As outsiders don't know this man, how would we figure out who would know he was there? Very simple. You put it in categories, right? His office would know he was there. The other investors that are attending that meeting knew he was there. And his family knew he was there. Now, are there other people that would have known he was there? I don't know. But factually, we could assume that at least those three, okay? So my wheelhouse starts revolving around these three things that I know. Now, what would make someone unalive another human being? Right? Very simple. Either power or greed. Right? Power, greed, and then of course we have the third one. Love. Right? Power, greed, love. Those are pretty much the three dominating reasons somebody would be injured in a situation like this. Sex, money. Yep. But don't forget power, because we're dealing with the top CEO of the largest insurance company in America. So now we have the three categories of people that would know him, and the three categories of reasons why somebody would be unalive. Equals mental illness. I don't know. DC. I don't know if mental illness has anything to do with this. But without further ado, I'm going to put this up. This is a trigger warning. I did blur it out. I wouldn't worry too much with it. But again, this can be a little upsetting to watch. Let me get it up here. Okay. So we have, again, it has been grayed out. It will be grayed out. And I'm going to go ahead and play it for you guys here. This is where the assailant meets, he's just walking. Okay. So we did hear that this guy here was sitting in some type of, I believe, coffee house or internet cafe or some type of cafe or something like that, waiting for him. You can see that it's not really bright out. You can tell that there's a lot of lights. It's not unlit. But there's a person sitting here. There's obviously somebody in this vehicle here. So, let me back this up. And then we have the assailant here and the victim here. So that's where we've got it. I'm not going to be playing too much of this because, again, I feel like it is a graphic. This is the situation that we are in. He takes this and points. I think it appears that he's got gloves on right here. As you can see, this right here is what makes me feel like this was a homemade silencer, because I can almost see right here where it's attached, but I could be wrong. It appears that this is a smaller with a longer, but I don't know. They said that this was a specialized, firearm. I'm unsure. Now, let me find out where he starts having problems with his, I think it's right here. I don't know why they put that over that. It's right here. So right there. You guys see where he's having problems. He's messing with his firearm right here. And he's trying, it appears to me, unjamming the firearm. And then he picks it up and does it again. So again, we do have this in play. I have reviewed this entire video that was released to the public. And to me, it tells a lot. And I have to agree with that detective in part, right? I do believe that this was not a skilled or professional Hitman, because he would have had the tools necessary without it. He would have done this before, therefore he would have already had the firearm, the silencer, or those types of things related to his job or occupation, which is this, hired hitman, right? Like that would be, if he had that, he'd have all the tools he needed without them jamming up. This is not the case. This person took a lot of care and thought into how they were going to do this. They made the preparations necessary for them to do this, but that does not mean that this was hired. What I can tell you is it looked like that person had no problem doing this, which is very concerning. What would make somebody not have a problem in doing this? Think about it. If we were so angry with somebody, think of how nervous we would be as human beings to be masked up and to be sitting in wait. Let me just bring this back to reality. So back in 2021, when we were covering the Gabby Petito case, I know I've told you guys this story 1,000 times. Willow Trials and True Crime Decisions. I work for a national insurance agency that specifically contracted with hospital systems throughout the U.S. with patients that are Medicare eligible. I did this for several years and was the manager. Well, thank you for that. So you know how difficult this some of the stuff is. And you know how difficult it is when you're talking to a patient that's not covered for a particular procedure, especially a life-saving procedure. First and foremost, I think any life-saving procedure, no matter what insurance company you're on, should be required to pay out. I don't care whether it's a heart transplant, a liver transplant, a kidney transplant, a lung transplant. If it is related to you not waking up the next day, the insurance company, no matter what, should be required to pay. And that's where they have a problem, because they're like, well, we can't control those costs. That's not my problem. But human life is, right? And human life should always trump cost. And they should have working relationships with the hospitals that they work with to keep those and maintain those costs down at the lowest possible cost, right? And that's just how I believe. When it comes to life and death, insurance companies, just like hospitals, should be required to keep you alive. And within reason. I mean, for example, if you need a liver transplant, but they know that you're an alcoholic and you'll never stop drinking, that automatically pushes you off the liver transplant list, okay? If they know that the liver transplant will only give you 2 additional years to live and will not extend your life, then they have to adjust those costs. I understand these are not discussions that people want to hear, but if the life-saving measures and methods are not going to save your life, then I understand wanting to extend it, but to what cost? I understand that argument. But if it's something that will give you, that will save your life, then I think insurance companies should be required to pay it. Pay a portion of it in the hospital, or the government. When you don't have money, there are things that the government can do to help sponsor some of that. People don't know that. If you go to the hospital and you are unable to pay your bill and you have no money, they give you a package of paperwork to fill out. Fill it out, right? They have government grants and stuff that will pay your bill. So always fill that paperwork out. Never be embarrassed when things are too costly. But if it comes down to life and death, at the end of the day, it seems like the hospitals are required to keep you alive, And I'm hearing that nowadays there are hospitals that aren't. Like here in Florida, they're required to save your life here. Unless you have a do not resuscitate order, they're required to save your life. And I think that insurance companies that are being paid a monthly stipend should be required to partner with them to save your life. Just my opinion. Whether it helps their bottom line at the end of the month or not, that is not my problem. Right? So now that we saw this, there are still some things that are going through my mind. And here are critical questions we need to ask about this. Who would have known he was there? Who would have known what time he would have arrived? And why would this have happened? If you see the thumbnail, and I'm going to remove myself, I'm going to show you that. And go back and look at it. You can see the creaks in his eyes, right? The creases in his eyes. He looks a little older, but doesn't look old, if that makes sense. He looks about the age, in my opinion, I could be wrong about this, about the age of the Brian Thompson himself, or around about that age. He's not a younger guy, in my opinion. And he was ready to do this. So this could be one of two things, in my opinion. Well, not one of two things, one of many things. But there's two. If it's coming to the infidelity conversation, it could be his wife is ready to get a divorce. You know, the normal stuff. Wife's ready to get a divorce. She's probably not making that much money. You know, he's going to take half the house, or, you know, she's not going to be able to have the lifestyle she was accustomed to because she's only a therapist and he's this high-powered CEO. Maybe she doesn't want to fight over the house and over the money and over this. And maybe he has a huge life insurance package. Okay. Maybe that. Maybe he had an affair with another woman. Maybe he's a good Christian man that didn't have an affair at all. Okay, I just want to throw that out there too. But if it was this kind of love triangle, maybe it was the significant other of the person he was with, right? That would enrage somebody, finding out that you're just this plumber and your assistant is sleeping with this multi-million-dollar CEO and, you know, whatever. Maybe, you know, they want him out of the picture, right? We have the investors. Maybe some of the investors aren't very happy and the company's not getting rid of them and they need to start making money again, or they need to have their person in charge. Maybe their person's next on the totem pole. Maybe as soon as he's out of the way, this guy gets in charge and can run this company the way it needs to be run, instead of this you know, pay to keep people healthy nonsense, right? Maybe they don't like that. Maybe and nobody's getting rid of him because he's producing, but he needs to get out of the way, right? So now the man under him hires some guy and says, "Hey, I'll give you $20,000. You're a C head. I'll give you $20,000. You go take care of him. He's going to be here at this time, at this place. Just sit here at this shop and wait for him." You know? Or could it be a competitor? Somebody stepped on toes. A lot of people believe because he was the CEO, it had to have been a disgruntled patient or disgruntled patient's family member. It wouldn't be the first time we've heard that, right? Maybe he lived a very pristine, Christian, godly life, and he's just trying to do right by his company, and he made decisions that people don't agree with, and somebody lost their life. Aunt Millie lost their life, and Joe Plumber is going to advocate for Aunt Millie, right? There are possibilities of that. So we don't know what we're dealing with here. We just know that this masked gunman casually walked away until he realized people were calling. And then you saw him as he went to go across the street. He ended up starting to pick up speed. And then we hear he got on this electric bike type thing and went to Central Park, where they lost him. They don't know who he is. Did he leave evidence around? I'm sure they're going to be DNAing everything to try to find who this person is. And if he's had a criminal history at all, if he's ever been arrested, whether he's been convicted of a felony or not, they most likely have his DNA on file. If he left a fingerprint behind and he's ever had any type of business professional license, he would have had to submit he'd had to submit fingerprints to the state in which he's getting licensed. I've been through, when I got my insurance license, I had to go through a level 2 FBI screening. And when I got my real estate license years later, I had to go through another level 2 FBI screening. to get that. And that is fingerprints, full background check. If you have anything, you got to kind of explain it away, explain to them what happened and send them any type of documentation that you have. Very easy to get through, but very time intensive and, nerve-wracking, right? Nerve-wracking. So they do have some possibilities in some areas to look at to help hone in on who this assailant is, but will it be enough? I truly believe this is going to be a solvable case. I truly believe that this is going to, there's going to be, with all of the, especially in New York, the geofencing, the cameras, the tracking. New York has a lot of stuff that here in Florida we just don't agree with. And I truly believe that they are, if they have not already identified, we're crossing over to, it happened yesterday, the first 48 hours is what it says in the movies. That's the most critical point in trying to identify who the person can be. So I can almost guarantee that they have a list of possible subjects right now that this could be, including his wife, children, and other family members. Okay. This is going to be a very grueling process. The family just lost this, their leader. Think about it. A husband goes out, works. He's the breadwinner. They lost their breadwinner, right? So they're dealing with not just loss of the breadwinner, loss of their family member, loss of their husband, loss of their father. And now their whole entire life is going to be ripped and turned upside down. Fatsy says disgruntled employee. Good point. Very good point. Jilted employee. Or how about another, it sounds like there was multiple different CEOs. He was the head CEO, but there were CEOs of different sectors. Like he was previously the CEO of the Medicare division or whatever, the government-based division. And he thrived in there before he became the CEO of the entire company. So maybe it's another CEO under him that he got fired. Maybe it's another, it's right before Christmas. How many people has he let go in the last 30, 45 days? Somebody that he let go recently would have known about this investors meeting. Could it be a woman? It's possible it could be a woman. But when I looked at those eyes, I did not see a woman. I saw a slender man, obviously white. He appeared just by his eyes anywhere between, I would think, 40 and 50 years old. I want to go all the way down to 30, but I think a 20-year age difference is a little too much. So if I had to pin between 30 and 40 or 40 and 50, I'm going from 40 to 50. So that's just and that's just based upon a covered face. I'm serious. It's from a covered face. But go analyze that and let me know what you guys think. Again, bullhornbetty@gmail.com, bullhornbetty@gmail.com. I did send this over to Chronicles of Olivia. I know she's covering the Asheville stuff and she's got a lot of content she's working on there, but I just thought she needed to get over to New York and cover this. I don't know if she will or not. I haven't really spoken to her, but definitely would like to, I'd like a little more information, and I just never get information unless I have boots on the ground. So, wow. So I'm just finding out some news, and this is heartbreaking news. Brandy Vaughn, which is Michael Monkey Vaughn's mom, has been diagnosed with stage 3 liver disease and is in need of a transplant. They are asking for prayers. If anybody's in the Idaho area and would like to go get tested, liver is, one of those organs that we can help somebody with. I don't know, how you feel, but this is a mom that doesn't know what happened to her son, and I would definitely hate to see anything happen to her before she gets answers for her son. I'm just learning about this right now. So if for any reason, first and foremost, please say a prayer for Brandy Vaughn. I can tell you she is a very lovely lady. Okay. She's a fighter, and she just wants to know what happened to her son. And I can't imagine the stress and the pain all of this has been on her and her family, especially in light of this whole stranger danger thing, because they did not know their neighbors. I truly believe something is off with Sarah and Stacy Wandra and their clan of misfits that were at their house that day. I don't know why they would need a 5-year-old child, but I can tell you it seemed like on the outside they tried to act like they had this Christian savory life, but when you pull back the curtain, you see that it was a very disgusting, unwholesome, ungodly home that they lived in, and their whole preaching of God and the Word was just a facade, and has some deep-seated issues with all of them. So, and they have never been brought to trial at all. But when it comes to liver and things of that nature, I know that it's based upon blood type. So maybe if you're in the Idaho area, maybe if you're in a state close and you don't mind being tested to see if you might be a person that can help. I don't know what they can do for liver disease. I've never looked into it. I don't know if it's something that they can, help grow a new liver, if that would help, or if this is something that's going to affect the new liver as well. But if I do know it's all blood typing. So if you guys would like to offer, organs, then that might be a good path forward. I'm glad to know that she does have the, at least her name is known well enough that people will help up. My best friend had a liver transplant. See, so if anybody would like to help out in that area and give life, God bless you if you're willing to do that much. It's unfair how much money talks. It is. It truly is. It truly is. Please keep us posted on Brandy and her recovery. I'm going to say recovery because I truly believe in my heart and soul she will recover. And I pray she does recover. She deserves to recover. I know how broken she is. But she also has a little baby girl that needs her mommy. And that's all I can really say. But I have high respect for Brandy Neal. So prayers for Brandy. All right, guys, you guys rock it out with your coffee beans out. Don't forget to be fearless. If you see something, say something. An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. And until next time, please be safe. But more important, please be kind to one another. And I'm not sure if we'll be back. I know I was supposed to be back with John Benet Ramsey. I had to look for Lou's video. I found it. It was really the only piece that I was missing for my whole presentation. And I did find it yesterday earlier, but I just didn't feel like running the story because I just deal with a lot of stuff this time of year. And so I've just been trying to maintain, manage everything as best I can for me this time of year. And sometimes it's healthy and beneficial for me just to unplug. And so that's kind of what I've been doing. I've just been unplugging. And just trying to refocus this channel and refocus, the brand in my mind and everything like that. So we've taken quite a hit over the last, several months. And it's just, financially, professionally, my freedom is a big portion and a big part of this. And it's like, so if you guys would like to help out, GoFundMe is still up. We're still collecting. We still have a huge deficit. I just don't want to hit people right around Christmas. I'm not that kind of content creator, but we do have to try to get serious after the beginning of the year because these legal expenses aren't going to be going away. And this is my freedom. And what they did to me was wrong. and it's all over lies. And I need to fight that. And I can't fight that without everybody's contributions and help. And, you know, I thought I was going to be getting help elsewhere, but, you know, it is what it is. So this is where we're at. And we just got to keep doing that. So I don't want you guys worrying about me before Christmas, but definitely after Christmas, we're going to have to try to figure something out here, because the bills are going to be coming due very, very quickly after the beginning of the year. So, all right, guys, I appreciate all your love and support, and we'll chat soon. So take care, and hopefully I'll be back later today. All right, guys. Bye-bye.
From the East Coast to the West Coast, we are everywhere true crime is. We are asking for the public's help. We are searching in the woods. We are doing what it takes here on the Bullhorn Betty channels to find answers to the most alarming cases we have been watching on the news. I can tell you personally that I have traveled this entire country seeking these answers and bringing that content right here to you here on the Bullhorn Betty channels and Bullhorn Betty Crime Stories. We are happy with the work that we've done. We brought many answers to the public, and we have defied mainstream media in our pursuit of the truth in these cases. We will continue to work, we will continue to fight for these victims, and we will continue to tell their stories here on my channel.
I figured since I forgot, even though we didn't hit our goal, I am going to play the ass video, okay? I will play the ass video before we sign out of here. If you guys have not seen it, for all of my new people, let me find it here. There it is. I'll play it for you. Don't judge. This was done back in Summer Wells days. This was actually done at the swimming hole. These are the animals that at the horse stables.
Andrea, aka Bullhorn Betty here. Look what I found. It looks like a lot of people on YouTube. Right here. Right here. This is a real ass right here. Like many people on YouTube. All you need to do is show an asshole a little love. Right? Right? Tell him. What you need to do? What you need to do? Huh? What you need to do? Oh, too many assholes on YouTube. Say it. Say it with me, baby. Say there's just too many people. Too many people on YouTube that look like you, huh? So the next time you want to be an ass, maybe you should come out here and hang out with the ass. Just saying. You want to be a jackass? There's your brother. Peace out. Bullhorn Betty style.
From the East Coast to the West Coast, we are everywhere true crime is. We are asking for the public's help. We are searching in the woods. We are doing what it takes here on the Bullhorn Betty channels to find answers to the most alarming cases we have been watching on the news. I can tell you personally that I have traveled this entire country seeking these answers and bringing that content right here to you here on the Bullhorn Betty channels and Bullhorn Betty Crime Stories. We are happy with the work that we've done. We brought many answers to the public, and we have defied mainstream media in our pursuit of the truth in these cases. We will continue to work, we will continue to fight for these victims, and we will continue to tell their stories here on my channels. Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty brand of channels and the Coffee Club. Thank you for your love, thank you for your support, and more importantly, thank you for allowing me to bring these victims' stories to each and every one of you, advocating for each of these victims. God bless you. God bless America, and more importantly, God bless our victims.